We know of no petitions from the audience, so discuss, possibly approve the minutes of December the 13th, 2022, regular meeting. Call for a motion.
Motion.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Call for a vote.
Shropshire,
Abstain.
Barham,
Yes.
Seaver.
Yes.
And we were in Branson that night,
Yes,
so
you were.
I
Right.
was gone. Okay, ready for the mayor's report.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I appreciate that. If you look over to your tax reporting, I did what I always do. I annualize the numbers. And the sales tax annualized at $10,381,000. And the use tax annualized at $1,093,000. And the tobacco tax annualized at $74,000. So we're flat. We're flat. We're about the same as we were last year. In my opinion, the way I'm wired is that if we're not gaining a little bit, that means we're losing a little. I'm glad and I'm thankful that we're able to keep this. Maybe we have plateaued. I don't think so. But these are the numbers. $11,548,607 is what the numbers are annualized. I am glad that tobacco use is down about $8,000 from what it was last year at the same time. So we're holding steady. Remember that the reported sales and use tax is 2 months behind. So this is January, so we're actually understanding receipts that we received in November. So always need to understand that. Any questions about the sales tax report?
Mayor, did you know if Eve ever ran the report of the tax rate compared to the last year to this year? Not tax rate, the amount of money going in, amount of money coming out. We talked about how with inflation, people are spending more, but everything's costing more for us as well.
Everything is costing more for us.
Right.
Everything is costing more for us. So
we were going to do a
utilities-
comparison of the percent of,
I did that a few months ago, and actually I did that about 6 months ago, and I tried to do some comparisons then, probably 3, maybe 2 months ago, I'm not really sure.
you and I
But-
talked about it a couple of months ago.
We did talk about it. Our expenses are not unlike your household expenses. Our expenses at the city, those fixed expenses, utilities, are the repair and maintenance, all of those, insurance, all of those kinds of expenses that are fixed. We're up about the same percentages that you would be in your own household, which is going to be somewhere between 8 and 12%.
What I look at is right now the inflation is actually causing everything to cost more like you're talking about. So that in turn raises our taxes.
That's what I was getting at. I would like to know what is in comparison to previous years so that we can project.
And
mean, it looks-
if the
if you-
inflation starts to fall, which we hope it will because of the cost of everything, our tax revenue is also going to fall because of that same ratio.
So if you were just to look at 21 to 22, looking at the used tax totals, we're at 21 is 1.017. 22 is at 1.23. So if somebody were just to look at it, they'd be like, oh, we've got more taxes coming in. But
It costs more.
it costs more to live right now.
Yeah.
So I was just curious, thinking long-term, what this, if we're about the same as
It
we've
would
been in
be-
the
it would-
past.
So if I project long-term, I'm going to follow the trend probably for another year
Sure.
out. I'm going to follow the trend. What is the trend? The trend is inflation continues to go up.
Yeah.
One of the things that, well, that's chasing a rabbit.
Sure.
And I
Jason Rabbit.
can talk to you about it at a
But-
different time.
But understand a few things that is very applicable to our budget, and that is our wages. And so, over the last 3 years, I have promoted that cost of living increase. I've done that because I wanted to keep good employees.
Sure.
I wanted to keep good employees, but the pressure on our budget because of that right now. So we did a 4% cost of living increase last year, which was large. We also had about a 7% increase in our sales tax and use tax revenues last year. Well, because of that, and talking to our city accountant, I felt like that was justified. It was justified, knowing that their cost of living is up 8%,
Right.
and we're trying to keep those good employees.
Right.
So I
That
felt like.
also doesn't account for the increase in utilities, the increase in gasoline, the increase in shipping, office supplies, like all of that. I was just curious, not curious, concerned.
Yes. I'm
Making sure that
concerned-
we're
I'm
keeping an
concerned.
eye
Well, to get what you want from our city accountant, and I'm going to ask our city accountant to do that. I'm not going to do it myself. I'm going to ask the city accountant to do it.
I don't blame you.
Uh,
Thank you.
Some won't believe me if I do it, but I do have the
Trust you.
capabilities.
Thank you.
So to project forward is what you're asking me to do.
Absolutely.
Is to project forward expenses compared to revenue.
Kind of a profit and loss.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay. All right, that's simple enough.
Just to keep our eye on it.
I printed the combined cash investment report for you. This is what closed in November. So this did not close in December. We have not closed December yet, but this is what closed in November. So these numbers are current as of November the 30th.
And they're as current as we can get.
Yeah, for right now, As I go through this report, and I look through this report almost daily at certain things. I don't look at all of it daily, but I look at certain things daily. And in the main, our expenses are lower. The percentage of our expenses are lower than the amount of the year that has gone by. And so that indicates that our department heads are doing a good job of managing their departments. We've got a few things that are close, but in the main, we're ahead of the game for now.
Thank you.
I do want to do a mid-year review. Excuse me, I'm sorry. I do want to do a mid-year review, and that report probably we will do in March. It'll take a little while to do that mid-year review because we're so slow in getting our months closed out. So I'll get Jeff Coker working on that and try to report back to you in March before we start our budget planning for our next fiscal year.
Yeah,
Any questions for me?
Not right now.
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, number 5, discuss possibly recommend council action regarding beginning the hiring process for the Pryor Creek Recreational Center Director position, which will be vacant April 7th, 2023. The job will be posted for 3 weeks from January the 18th, 2023 until February the 7th, 2023. This action is pending approval by the Recreation Board Monday, January the 9th, 2023. Do I have a motion?
Motion. Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Call for a vote.
Barham,
Yes.
Seaver,
Yes.
Shropshire.
Yes. Okay. Would you like to address that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Which, item 5?
Yeah, item 5, uh-huh.
So item 5, so basically, as you guys all know, Jessica Tiger's leaving. She got married, she's moving to Tulsa. We tried to vote that down last night, but we were unsuccessful in our endeavors. So she's leaving, so what the thought is that if we can go ahead and start the process to get someone hired, because it's such a big position, and whoever comes in has big shoes to fill, I'll just say that.
They do.
So we thought we'd get the process started earlier to bring her in, him or her in, to have some time to shadow the current director, to kind of walk through, what's going on and kind of show them the ropes and have kind of a heads up of what's happening within the rec center before the current director steps out. And so we sat down, we figured out the process of that, and that's kind of where we want to go with that.
So the thing I was wondering about here says, the action is pending approval of the recreational board Monday, January the 9th, 2023 meeting. So you did approve it?
That was approved, yes, sir.
Okay, that's the part that I needed for sure.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah, it's going to be big shoes to fill, that's
Yes,
for sure.
yeah, yeah.
She does a great
Jessica and her
job.
team have done a really, really good job, and we're looking for an individual that's consistent in keeping that group together, working, the cohesiveness, that's important.
And the culture.
And the culture that
Yep.
Jessica has brought to the rec center, and there's a lot of light shed on the rec center, and a lot of our patrons throughout Mays County use it. In fact, when we did our Dam Jam last year with the chamber, we had a lot of individuals come here from Tulsa, and we used the rec center as a hub where the Dam Jam started from. And there was a lot of people that came from all across northeastern Oklahoma that didn't even realize we had that rec center. So it was kind of a spotlight.
Good.
And so we opened it up allowed them to use the showers. We used some rooms in there to help kind of facilitate some stuff. So it was really, really good.
Good deal.
So we really are looking for a really good director a good person to fill in that role. Because like I said, we tried to vote her out last night, or vote to stay in, and it didn't
You
work.
have to stay. That would have been great if you'd have got that one.
Yeah.
Okay, further
You
discussion?
might as well stay
I'll
right
just,
there.
I'll stay right here.
Any further discussion?
No. Already voted on it.
Huh?
We've already voted on it.
Okay, yeah. All right, so.
Kind of did that backwards.
Kind of did backwards, yeah. Okay. Number 6, I'm going to have to read it the way it was put out on the agenda, and then we'll come back for a change later.
Gotcha.
Discuss possibly recommend council action regarding hiring the approved PCRC director applicant effective March 1st, 2023, at the budgeted receptionist, front desk position, range A, step 1, annual wage of $31,200, to allow for orientation and on-the-job training with the current director. Effective April the 7th, 2023, the approved applicant should move into the director pay scale of range G, step 1, annual wage $55,180. This action is pending approval of the recreational board Monday, January the 9th, 2023. Have a motion.
Motion.
Second.
Okay, motion's been made and second. Discussion.
Okay, so if the way you read it was brought up to how I read it last night in the rec board meeting, and then when we brought it up for discussion, it was unanimous between the other four members that were there, that they kind of felt like that we should, instead of, the question is who's going to come in as a director and want to start out at $31,000? That might be hard to get someone to start, to fill that role, to receive that shadow, or to be able to shadow the current director. And then if you look at the time frame, if we hire in March, and then that's effective and hire them at that range in March, and then they work for a month, and then they go into the director's pay, somewhere around $2,000 difference. And so it was suggested that we just go ahead and hire them in at the current $51,180 as the current director, and allow them to shadow until the current director leaves, and it would be just a difference of somewhere around $2,000. And this budgeted position for the $31,200, that's been vacant for quite some time. So we have money there to more than accommodate the $2,000.
Sure.
So, and then we felt like if we had an individual that we hired, they would be willing to come right in and do that at that current pay, instead of maneuvering through this. The original thought when we put this on the agenda was we're trying to cut costs, right? We're trying to stay within a budget and not ask the budget committee to give us any more money. Well, that money was already budgeted anyway, just in a different form.
Okay. So we need to make an amendment to this motion. And the amendment would be discuss possibly recommend council action regarding hiring the approved PCRC director applicant effective March 1st, 2023 at the budgeted Range G, Step 1, annual wage $55,180 to allow for orientation and on-the-job training with the current director. I have a motion to amend it.
I think the mayor, were you gonna say?
Our procedure on this, so to amend that, Lori, you made the motion and you seconded the motion, so if you will amend your motion
Okay.
to what he read, and then you second your motion, then
Then we can make the amendment.
We'll all be square.
Okay.
Good deal.
Okay, so I'd like to amend my motion.
I'll second that.
Okay, the motion has been made and seconded. Any further discussion? Okay, call for a vote.
Seaver,
Yes.
Shropshire,
Yes.
Parham.
Yes.
Okay, I know of no unforeseen business, so I need a motion to adjourn.
Motion?
Second?
Motion's been made and seconded to adjourn. Call for a vote.
Shropshire,
Yes.
Parham,
Yes.
Seaver.
Yes.
Okay, we are adjourned.
We actually get